I'm a filmmaker, I'm a videographer, I'm a content creator, I'm a wannabe animal photographer, and most importantly, a coffee drinker. I'm making this video because I found it very difficult when I was starting out how much I should be charging people, and even as time went on, I just found it very difficult to kind of get an easy answer out of anybody. So I want to help as many people as I can with this. Let's get straight to it. Quickly, I have two other videos on this already. One for a kind of a beginner, one for more of an intermediate, £500 to £1,500 shoots. And this is kind of what I class as more advanced, 5K plus. But that doesn't mean that anything in those previous two videos aren't helpful for you. So, either go back and watch them. Otherwise, we're just going to get straight to it. So you've been in the industry for a few years now. You have big projects, you have big budgets, but you start to question whether you're being rightly compensated for this. I just want to firstly say, if you're happy with the amount of money that's coming in and, you're living within your means and stuff, then absolutely just keep going, right? But this is just for... if you ever have the feeling like you're being overworked or you're putting in a lot more effort and you're not really kind of getting rightly compensated for it, this is kind of what I'm going to talk about. I want to quickly mention before we start, there's going to be some budget ceilings on certain niches. So for example, you're not going to get 10K plus from a single real estate job, and your local cafe isn't going to have those sort of funds, and an Instagram influencer for sure won't be paying you more than $1,000 or $2,000. So have those expectations when you're starting off, but I'm kind of talking about more, larger corporations and that sort of thing. So in my last video, I made it clear that you need to ask what the budget is up front. So that's, you have something to work with. As you start to grow and start working with, bigger companies and bigger clients, it's going to be a lot easier to find out this information. They'll actually probably approach you with the budget already in mind. When you're starting out, it's like pulling teeth just to find out the company only has £200-300 for a budget. But when you start working with major brands, they're going to tell you they're going to have a budget of 10, 20, 30K. And you're going to be sitting there this is great. Usually when they tell you that budget is including everything. They're approaching you thinking of you as an agency. They're not just thinking of you making videos. They want you to be, you're going to be directing, filming, editing, getting the makeup artists, getting the actors, getting the location. You're getting everything for that amount of money. So at the end of the day, you're not pocketing 20K. You're pocketing, a reasonable amount, but you're going to be spending the money elsewhere. So I'm going to jump in now to a real example of a budget that was given to me and how I broke that down with everything. So this here was a project that I did back in November. It's not that pretty in terms of the Excel sheet, but it works for me. The first thing that we did is we got a producer involved, and she did a lot of the venue hire, finding the actors, finding stuff like catering. Again, that's going to cost money. So as you can see here in production, her total came to, what was that, $2,500 basically, around that sort of price. Because she did a lot of pre-production. She spent days on the phone to agencies, to actors, studios all over London trying to find the right place. And basically she was working. She was working for those days as pre-production. On the day, she had to travel down from Scotland. So there was travel there was accommodation, and you can see that from all the costs here. If you go up to the top, the venue, we hired out two of their sort of connected locations, and that came to $1,550. Then there's an electricity add-on on that. That's not that typical, to be honest. It's not always the case, but again, just start thinking about these little things which add up to a lot. So the photography, so I got the photographer involved, and I did say, how much I'm going to be charging, and then he kind of matched it. But same thing with production, pre-production, and kit. So what we did is we actually hired from the same place, but I told him to build a kit list and I'll build my kit list, and we kind of kept it separate, just so when we came back to the client, it showed kind of where it was going. So then it goes to me, filming, the day rate, and the usage. Our usage was we had 1 year usage. It could be 1 year, 3 years, perpetuity, it could be anything, but they increase in prices. So that was my usage, and that was me as I was directing and I was DPing, but I was also directing the photography as well. So that's kind of my costs on there. And then we had the talent. So talent varied. We had 4 actors, 2 male, 2 female. And they have day rates plus a usage fee, which as you can see here is from the 1 year. But then there's also agency fees that gets involved in that. Their day rate is 400, right? So they have a double the day rate cost for the 1 year. They can have triple for 3 years, and then they can go up to 10 times the amount for perpetuity. So you have to keep in mind when you start doing these bigger shoots, and you have a lot of actors involved, you have to start thinking about the usage and how long the usage is basically how long the license is gonna last. If someone's gonna be broadcast on a commercial on TV and the commercial is there forever, the actor or actress is going to want compensation for that. Same for the agency supporting them. So second is makeup. So we had one makeup artist, but you could easily potentially have two, because you could have someone who does wardrobe. We had a makeup artist, and she had additional expenses on top of that, just in terms of specific sort of makeup that we needed that day. And then there's just like MISC. So little things. So we had like catering, which was important. We made sure everyone kind of got food, got hot food. We made sure that everyone had travel sorted out. It was London, so a lot of the time we could use public transport. But if we needed someone to get somewhere, you get the talent there. We use cabs. You need to pay for that. Things like wardrobe. So for this particular shoot, wasn't a fashion one. So what we had to do is the producer had to go out and basically go shopping for them. And then as you can see, like all of this has come down to about 15k, just over. You can see like I'm getting paid like $2,000 for filming, and then $1,000 for editing. I'm not pocketing 15k. Like it's not happening at all. I'm not, this is how much I charge. So I'm not pocketing 3k. So I was the one who got paid. So I got paid, I got paid the $15,000, but then, there's certain things I had to pay for in advance and had to pay everybody else. So as you grow and you start doing these bigger budgets and you start taking control, and you see yourself more as an agency, which is a good way to kind of scale, you'll be given these budgets, but you have to make sure that you work with them. Now, if I go back and do this shoot, and I was feeling, real cocky, and I wanted to do all of this myself and the photo, like I can immediately take away how much does he cost? Like 3,400, bam. That's that. I could take on all of that. It's £3,400 right there. I only wanted to use 2 actors total, a male and a female, so I could cut that in half, so put that down to about 2,700, easy peasy, 2,600. I can get a friend involved to do makeup. And then production, maybe I just do all the production, So I would never do that. But if I needed the money and I wanted that stress, then you could be pocketing more money. But I like to kind of spend. I like to spend the budget because I want the video to be as good as possible. I want it to look as sick as possible. And I'm more than happy with the amount of money that I'm getting paid. I feel like I'm fully compensated. And like this applies to whatever the budget be. You could be doing a TV commercial for 6 figures. There's going to be certain locations. There's going to be a number of actors who are going to charge a lot of money. There's going to be worldwide usages. That 6 figures will be eaten up very quickly. It's also important because you want to leverage yourself beyond just being a filmmaker. There's going to be a ceiling about how much a client or a brand is prepared to pay you, just as like the person who makes a video, the person who does the photos. But if you kind of pivot yourself as an agency, as I've talked about in other videos, in terms of helping out with distribution, helping out with pre-production, you can sort out the location, you can sort out the campaign as a whole. You can be their marketing people, like their social media people. That's when you're going to start making a lot more money, because they're going to be giving you free reign of their budgets. If you are going to just leverage yourself as just like a cameraman and just an editor, then you can't really expect them to be paying you high 4 figures into 5 figures. There's going to be some rock stars out there. It happens with photographers all the time, like celebrity photographers who make like 10-15 grand per shoot just for them, and they're pocketing all of that pretty much. But in most cases, there's going to be a certain ceiling about how much you're going to be getting paid. So how do you land these jobs? Well, it's about brand awareness, right? It's about getting people to know you as not only as an amazing filmmaker, but as like an agency. Like, you're hiring people, you have a crew, you're prepared to take on very large projects. You have examples of doing so. Getting your name out there is one thing, but having brands trust you to basically help out and see a campaign through will completely take you to the next level. Like if you get referrals from a major company, like a major brand, you're going to kind of stay up there with all the other major companies. I think what you'll find is in a lot of niches, they all, like all the marketing directors kind of know each other, and all the producers know each other, and all the execs sort of know each other. So there's a lot of opportunity there, as if you're impressed with one, you can then have the opportunities to be working with others. Now, because you guys are advanced, I'm not going to start saying you should be making spec ads at home, or, make a Nike commercial with your friends, because you probably have enough paid content to prove that. But, that is an option that you could do if you wanted to work with a very specific brand. You could, if you wanted to work with Apple and, you get the Apple Watch and you make a sick video with the Apple Watch, that's something you can pitch to them. You could pitch them and say, like, you see a distinct lack of, marketing around this product. Here's like a video I made, and it's just like, marketing companies and agencies do it all the time. They have like a prototype of something, or they have like a very low budget version, and they say, like, look, with the budget, this is what we'll actually be making. You can do that yourself. You can do that with the crew that you have, and hopefully by doing these past jobs, and you've worked with directors or DPs, or you've worked with photographers, these are different people who could not only get you jobs, but you can bring on board to do these bigger jobs, to say, like, look, I need a budget of 15 grand because, like, I'm going to be giving you all of these videos and these photos, and we're going to be going to like this location, and we're going to go to this country. It's all this sort of stuff which basically justifies them giving you any sort of a budget. Now, having said all of that, you could still get approached by a major brand just to be, like, they might already have a team involved and they just want to get you involved because they like what you do. And that's completely fine. And there is an opportunity there to, increase your prices by quite a lot, but you can't say, yeah, I need 20K. Because they're going to say, well, okay, first of all, like, you're very expensive, but, we have the athletes, we have the location, we've already, all of our marketing people have already done the producing for this. We just need you to either come and direct, or we just need you to film, or both, or whatever it is. If it's a big brand and you think they have a big budget, then test the waters, but just be prepared to negotiate. But don't be flying into the deep end and, try and become one of those like rock star, photography people. Like, it doesn't, forget about that. Like, just be genuine, test the waters. Those brands are probably like the best opportunity you can to increase your prices by a significant amount. But again, just don't be silly with it. I don't want to pivot myself as like an expert in the field. I have a long way to go. I love what I'm doing, but I am by no means an expert. For the guys that are watching this, you might have like 3-4 epic show reels and an amazing client base, and you're pulling in 5-figure jobs all the time. You could be doing anywhere from 5 to 6 figures per month, per year, whatever it might be. So a lot of this stuff it might not be new to you, but it's always just kind of good to know and realize, like, especially in a world like this, it's very important to continue networking online and continue putting good work and a lot of work online and on social media, on LinkedIn, on Facebook, Instagram, all of them. Just put it in front of faces, put it in front of eyes, because the thing is, moving forward, we have no idea how COVID is going to affect the industry. I know it's affected it badly, but once this is all kind of wrapped up, those 10, 20, 30K jobs just might not come in anymore, right? Like, everything might be cut in half. So you just need to be prepared to understand the practices of working with budgets and negotiating with clients to kind of get paid and get enough money to make a video happen as best as it can be. All right, guys, I'm going to end the video there. If you guys have any sort of like tips of your own and anything that I missed out, like, I'm sure I missed out loads of things. Everyone's different, everyone starts out different. Let me know, because it's not just for me, it's probably for other people, and it's just really good to share. And I think it's just good for creatives and filmmakers kind of help each other out as much as they can, because it seems to be a very like closed field, and I don't really know why. So yeah, let me know. And again, also just like tell me if you didn't like the video, if there's anything that doesn't make sense for you or doesn't really relate to you, or anything that I got wrong. I want to know that more than you guys are saying like, yeah, it was great. I want to learn as much as possible. But that's it, and I'll see you guys in the next video.